Hey, it's Cobra here at MaddenGuides.com, and for this video breakdown, I want to take a look at a blitz setup out of the nickel wide that brings some serious pressure through the B gap post-patch. The name of the defense that we use for this video breakdown is called nickel wide 𝗬𝗶𝗆𝗀𝗀. Here are the playbooks you can find this play out of. Before we actually show the blitz setup out of the nickel wide 𝗬𝗶𝗆𝗀𝗀, I want you guys to take a look at this defense first. And what I'm going to do here is going to run it here in just a second without making any pre-snap adjustments. And then we'll talk about how to make those pre-snap adjustments is going to allow you to put some pressure on the quarterback. Now, also want to look at the pass coverages and the pass rush assignments. As you look at this one, you've got a 6-man pass rush going on here, as you can see on your screen. So you got these 6 defenders that are going to be coming after the quarterback. Now, the problem with that is, obviously, as you look at it, then you only have 5 defenders that are going to be in man coverage. So this means this is going to be a cover 0 defense as you look at your screen here with the coverages right there. So you got those 5 defenders that are in man coverage. Now, obviously, there's a lot of, as you guys know, there are a lot of plays that can beat this type of defense. Now, I don't have to tell you guys this already, but you guys know darn well that you're going to have to mix this in with some other plays. You just can't sit out here and just keep running this defense. You're going to have to mix it in with some other man coverages, make some other adjustments. Rather, you run this defense and maybe do some other little tinkering with the coverages. But with that said, it can be a defense that can be effective at bringing the cover as far as bringing the pass rush. Now, with that said, here's the problem with this defense. If you run it as is, such as I'm going to do right here, I'm going to switch off to another defender just so you guys can see something here. That one of the issues right off the bat here is you look at the coverages against this particular formation, is gun bunch X nasty. Now, this isn't going to be every single formation that you run this against, but you can see this guy right here is in man coverage. Unfortunately, as you look at it, he's supposed to be covering the tight end over here, and that's going to be an issue right there. So one of the things you'd have to do here, just right off the bat here to fix this, is you would have to switch over here and maybe bring him over or something like that. Now, you can call press coverage as well, which I'll do, and make some other adjustments. But even if you do this without making any pre-snap adjustments here, let's go ahead and run the play here. Now, I'm just going to throw it real quick. I don't care who I throw it to. You can see right there as you look at it, not a whole lot of pressure. I mean, only pressure you're going to get here, if you look in the instant replay here, just real quick here, the only pressure that you're really going to see as we look at it here is possibly coming from the outside there, from that nickel back right here. And as you can see on your screen here, it's going to be coming from this guy right here. It's too late, doesn't bring a whole lot of heat on the quarterback. Yeah, he gets in eventually, but it's just not very effective. So what I want to do now is I want to go into it and show you guys a blitz setup that you guys can use to bring a lot more pressure. And it's going to come from this linebacker right there. We'll talk about that here in just a second. All right, let's take a look at this blitz setup out of the nickel wide 𝗬𝗶𝗆𝗀𝗀𝗀. I want to show you how this one works. And it does bring some pressure on the quarterback, specifically coming from this linebacker right here as you look at your screen. Now, this is going to be Lloyd. Now, I just want to make one little comment about him. He is an 85 overall, but he's only an 84 speed. So just keep that in mind. Later in the video breakdown, I want to show you guys another player from the Jaguars that you can sub in that's a lot faster, especially you guys who run these online franchise leagues. You might consider picking this guy up because he's actually really fast. I believe he's one of the faster safeties in the game. So I just want to point that out. We'll show him a little bit later in the video breakdown. But for now, what I want to do is I just want to go through this setup and show you how simple this one is. Now, all you got to do here is, honestly, to set this one up as far as getting that B-gap pressure here, is to call QB contain. Now, the reason for that is that you're going to want to create some spacing here that's going to allow you to get that pressure on the quarterback, specifically from this defender right here, which is going to be this end right here as you look at your screen, which is going to be your left end in your play call in your substitution menu area. Now, the other thing is I want to point out, since we're kind of going through this real quick here, is this guy right here, which is going to be the strong side defensive tackle. You'll notice that his blitz assignment or rush assignment actually has him going in this direction here and going in this area here. That's because I call the 𝗪𝗆𝗆𝗏 3-man stunt. What his design is here is to go in that direction here as far as a stunt. And then you got these other 2 guys here as you look at your screen, which is going to be the right end and the weak side defensive tackle. They're going to stunt to the inside. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here so we can look at this a little bit closer here as far as why we're going to run this and create this gap that we're about to do here. So with this guy, as I pointed out earlier, with him going into this direction out here towards the left, as you look at it, then what's going to happen is this particular defender, or excuse me, this offensive lineman, which happens to be the right guard, he's actually going to slide inside here. Okay. And he's going to actually end up getting blocked, or he's actually going to end up blocking this particular defender, which is that weak side defensive tackle. Now, as I pointed earlier, we're trying to get a bigger gap here with this guy right here, which is going to be the end right there, some 𝗬𝗶𝗶𝗀𝗀. So that's the reason for that. We're trying to create a big gap that's going to allow our defender, in this case it's going to be Lloyd, to shoot through this B gap and apply that pressure on the quarterback. So I just want to point that out to you. So that's really it as far as the setup. Now, you can call press man coverage here. If you need to, you can always take this guy over. Something else you might want to do is you might want to shade to the inside just to get that defender right there. You just saw him slide in. Make sure he's a little bit more head up, especially out of this particular formation, this gun bunch X nasty. You might consider doing that. Now, that's it right there as far as the setup. Let's see if we can get that pressure coming and getting that A-gap pressure out. Right there, you can see right there, we get that pressure on the quarterback. So what I want to do right now is I want to go into instant replay, and I want to talk a little bit more about this particular play. All right, from the all 22 and instant replay, we can look at the X and O's of the play and get a better idea exactly how this particular blitz works. Now, as you look at it, what we're trying to do, as I pointed out earlier, we're trying to get Lloyd here to shoot through this gap right here, this B gap, and apply that pressure on the quarterback pretty quick. So that's the idea of that. But to do that, we had to use the stunt, which is the left pirate 3-man. And what this is going to do is it's going to get this defender right here, which is the strong side defensive tackle. He should end up going in this direction here and looping into that area there. And then you got these other guys that are going to be crashing to the inside into that area. Plus, you also don't forget, we got this guy in 𝗬𝗶𝗶𝗀𝗀, and we also got, I believe it's this guy right here in 𝗬𝗶𝗶𝗀𝗀 as well. So you got those two guys in 𝗬𝗶𝗶𝗀𝗀. And the main reason with the 𝗬𝗶𝗶𝗀𝗀𝗀 is we want this guy, when he goes to the outside, we're trying to get him to have the right tackle to go out further out wide and create another gap, bigger gap on that side of the line if you look at it. So you're trying to get the right guard to go to the left side. You're trying to get the right tackle to go to the right side to create that bigger gap. So that's the design of this as far as with the left pirate 3-man as far as getting this pressure on the quarterback. So that's really it in a nutshell as you look at it as far as the pressure. So let's just kind of go through this a little bit quicker here as we look at it. So right there, you can see the first thing I want to point out here is you got that right guard. Now you'll notice that he's looking to the inside here. He's looking to block into that direction there. He's looking at that guy, honestly, the strong side defensive tackle. He's looking at him initially as he loops around to the other side of the field. So it's right there. But by the time he reacts, you'll see right there as you look at it, you'll notice at this point that Lloyd is now shooting through this gap. And also, we've got this other guy I was talking about earlier, this weak side defensive tackle slanting in. Now, you can see at this point that you've got this guy also, you got the center and him. So you got both these two guys now looking to block that strong side defensive tackle. If that works the way it's supposed to work, then you're going to get that pressure in there. I want to zoom out just a little bit. Something else I wanted to show here is this guy right here may end up very well getting the pressure on the quarterback as well from the outside, this nickelback. Sometimes he doesn't get blocked because what may end up happening is rather than the left tackle blocking him, he may end up blocking that looper that's coming around. Now, I'll say this. If that left tackle doesn't block him, then this guy may bring some pressure as well. A little bit later in the play, but he may get in there himself. Rather be coming through the B gap, or as you can see right here clearly, he's going to get pressure on the outside. So that's another option right there to watch for. He may get pressure on the quarterback. It's going to be a little bit probably too late because you're probably already going to get that pressure from Lloyd, but I just want to point that out to you as far as with that. Now, there's going to be some coverage issues as you look at it here. Now, one of the things I did want to point out here as you're looking at this, I don't get all paranoid about this, but this guy right here is supposed to be in man coverage on the tight end. I'm actually controlling him. I was just watching the blitz, so I wasn't paying attention. You can see that the tight end gets wide open there as he goes down the field. So don't worry about that too much because honestly, I'd been covering him if I'd been paying attention. But the rest of it, I just want to show you that's where you're going to get that pressure on the quarterback. Now what I want to do is I want to show you something else you guys can do to enhance this blitz a little bit. That's going to bring some more pressure on the quarterback. If you made it this far, hit the like button, subscribe, and get notified for our latest Madden Guides YouTube video breakdowns. All right, I want to finish things up with showing you guys one last thing that's as far as enhancing this defense, and that's mainly just to bring in a faster defender. Now, earlier in the video breakdown, I talked about Jaguars have a really fast safety on their team. Now, if you guys are playing in those connected franchise leagues and you're looking for somebody to steal, and you might consider bringing this guy. He's the number 3 on the depth chart of the Jaguars. He's a 95 speed. He's only like a 73 overall, but he's pretty fast, and he can definitely bring the pressure on the quarterback. So this might be something you might want to consider as as far as if you're looking on those online connected franchise leagues and you're looking for somebody fast to bring pressure to quarterback, you could simply, in this particular defense or any other type of defense where you can sub in safeties in at these linebacker spots, he might be somebody you might want to consider doing. So let's go through the rest of the setup again, just real quick here. And remember, you got to make sure you guys got that stunt that I talked about earlier, which is the left pirate 3-man. Make sure you guys have selected that. Then what you want to do is just want to call QB contain. And then if you want to call press coverage, you can do all that good jazz right here. You can do that right here. And if you want to, if you want to shade to the inside or whatever, that's really up to you. Some different things you can do with that. I just want to point that out to you guys. All right. So right there's the setup as you look at it. And we're just going to go ahead and run it. Now watch this time. I am going to switch off to another defender here just to be in coverage. This time it looks like he's actually going to be covering the safety here. But let's just go ahead and run this and see what kind of pressure we can get on the quarterback here as far as with it right there. And you can see right there, there's your pressure right there. Now, as you guys looked at it, you can see you also got pressure from the nickel back as well. So this is a nice defense if you're looking to bring pressure to quarterback. Pretty simple setup post-patch that can definitely bring some pressure to quarterback. And I hadn't had a chance to test against everything online as far as all the different formations, but I can tell you it definitely does bring some pressure to quarterback, and it's pretty consistent. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment for more Madden guides, strategy, and tips content. See you in the next video.